Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hi. You know what? I've just got this weird feeling my mic isn't switched on. I think it is. It is. It's fine. And yours is switched on, so
Well,
I
I
can see
can't
it glowing
believe we've
green.
got the technology.
I know. So last time that we did this, we had a little bit of background noise, and we thought, well, let's just try these and see if that makes it a bit better. So let us know. Let us know if it works. So I'm here with Wendy.
Hello.
So you remember Wendy from last time? We were talking ahead of your positive living group talk.
Oh, it went really well, didn't it?
Really well. Talking about Western herbal medicine. It was a really good group, a really good talk. Probably our most popular talk to date.
Well, I have to say, I thought it was an hour's talk. So, you know, when I asked you at the talk, oh, how are we doing for time? And you said, oh, should we take a break? Does anyone want coffee? And I was thinking, oh my God, I've run out of slides.
No, it's all good because we had so many good questions.
We did.
And such good conversation. So I actually think planning an hour was perfect.
Good, good.
Because it gave us a good half hour to really...
I styled it out then.
Yeah,
Nobody would have...
Nobody knew.
So I shouldn't have said anything really. No.
No, it was all good. It was really good. Well, as anything that Wendy presents is always good.
Oh,
that's why she's here. And you had your, was it yesterday you said you had your course that you do here?
Oh no, on a Thursday,
Thursday
evening, yes.
And how many sessions are you into that now?
So I think we're on the 5th actually. So this week is session number 5. We're covering skin. And then the last session, which is the most complicated of all, of course, is women's health. So hormones from premenstrual all the way to postmenopausal. So it's a big session, but I'll be running it again. So it's called the Introduction to Herbal Medicine course, and it's a 6-week course. And we start off talking about how you take herbs, you know, from teas to decoctions, tinctures, poultices and everything like that. And then we go through the systems of the body, the digestive, skin, hormones. So yeah, it's been good. This is the 2nd cohort, but I'm going to keep running it. And then eventually there will be like an intermediate and an advanced
Nice.
course.
I did the first one with you, your very first one.
That was in Southsea, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. Me and my mum came.
You did, and you did the medicine making day as well.
I missed the last. No, did I? No, I don't think I did. On the last one of that course, I had coronavirus.
Oh right.
So I couldn't come.
Did we try and
you were making chapsticks and things? I think lip balms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good.
I missed that one.
It was fun. Yeah, that was at the Southsea Deli. Shout out to the Southsea Deli.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
If anybody knows me, they know that chapstick's my favourite thing in the world, and I was gutted I missed that one.
Oh, well, you'll have to come to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on topic. We're going to talk ultra-processed foods.
Yes.
Something I'm very passionate about eating and something that Wendy's very passionate about telling me off for.
Yes. So he's bought a bag, and I haven't seen what's in the bag. So this is going to be genuine reactions.
A mystery bag of goodies from my house.
Can you tell the disgust?
I'm going to be shamed. And we're going to talk about what's in them, what's good, what's bad, and Wendy, who is, of course, the mastery of diet and one of the most disciplined people that I know. You did get me gluten-free, which was wonderful. I have not stepped into sugar-free yet, but you do courses on that too.
Yeah, I do. And I think we need to sort of define what ultra processed is, because essentially all food is processed just by cooking it. I mean, you could argue just picking it, you're processing it in some way, but ultra processed, I think rule of thumb would be if there's more than, say, 5 ingredients in the ingredients list, tends to sort of be ultra processed. If you can't pronounce an ingredient, then it's clearly ultra processed. Some people would say if it comes in a packet, it's ultra processed. So, I mean, there are levels. I mean, we're talking here today about the ultra. Well, we'll see. Because I don't know what's in the bag.
So I think I quite often bang on about this. I don't always practice what I preach, but I just think that our purpose today is to bring awareness to it. It's not to really shame anybody for what maybe Wendy excluded, but we all have convenience foods or ultra processed foods. It's pretty much impossible to live these days without ultra processed foods in your diet. But it's about awareness. So I quite often use this example of, you can go and buy a bag of frozen chips from the supermarket. And maybe it's got anywhere between 3 and 15 ingredients, depending on what kind of chips they are. Or you could buy a potato.
But it'd be what you cook them in as well.
Yeah.
So if you were cooking your potato chips that you handmade in, let's say, a highly refined vegetable oil, that would be considered ultra processed because we couldn't make a vegetable oil in our kitchen. You actually need an oil refinery to do it, and really high temperatures to get the oil out of whatever seed, whether that be canola, sunflower, olive oil. Not that you're going to probably cook chips in olive oil because it's very expensive, but it would really depend on, how you cook it as well. Yeah.
So, right, but here comes the dog. Sorry if you're wondering what all that cluttering and banging is. He's on his way downstairs. So, let's see what's in the bag.
Let's see what's in the
bag. Happens to Wendy's face. Right, well, I'm quite vocal about this one.
Oh.
Oat milk, no sugars.
Okay. So let's have a look at I haven't seen this one.
This is an Aldi special, this one.
Okay. So let's have a look at the ingredients. So the first ingredient is water, oats. So there's only actually 9%.
It's nice head in the bag.
9% of oats in this oat milk. The next ingredient is sunflower oil. Well, we've already said, so any vegetable oil is not great. It's highly processed. Then they've got soluble maize fibre. Now maize is corn. So that's, I guess, a stabiliser. So they're using the fibre to thicken the drink. Calcium carbonate, which is chalk. Sea salt, stabilizer. So this is where you get the carrageen. In here, I need to take my glasses off. This says Gellan gum. I don't actually know what that is. And then they fortified it with vitamin B12 and various other B vitamins, riboflavin and vitamin D2. So essentially, this is water and sunflower oil with highly processed maize fibre. Don't drink this stuff.
So
we're going to throw that.
We're going to ditch that. So you can get oat milks that are just oats and water. I went to a dietitian. I don't know if that's the right term. Dietitian at the hospital.
Right.
For my daughter because she won't drink cow's milk. Don't know why. But he said it was fine to have oat milk, but don't buy organic and don't buy just the oats and water because you want the fortified.
You want the vitamins
in there.
Well, yeah, because essentially oats are just a carbohydrate. There is a problem with oats as well because people tend to think that oats are really healthy, but actually I'm sure oats are very prone to mould. So when they're in the field, if they get wet and then they're harvested, they are prone to black mould. So maybe that's why he said not to go for the organic.
Interesting.
Whereas if you have non-organic, they would spray them with stuff to sort of ripen them and probably prevent the mould. So I would imagine it's the black mould. So you're kind of in a toss-up there between the black mould or the chemical.
And are oats gluten-free?
This is a really good question.
Yeah, I never found a clear answer, so I just don't have them.
I think they don't contain gluten, but generally they would be processed and or grown next to fields of wheat that do contain gluten, or they're manufactured in a factory that also handles gluten. So it's more of a contamination issue than they actually contain gluten.
Interesting.
So when you get gluten-free oats, that would probably be processed in a factory that doesn't have any other gluten grains used. So I think it is gluten-free naturally. It's more of a contamination.
Now let's talk cow's milk as the alternative to oat milk.
So cow's milk,
One ingredient?
it is one ingredient.
Yeah.
It is processed now because when we were younger and you used to have the milkman and you'd have the cream on the top of you don't get that now because they homogenize the milk, which means that I think they push it through a really fine sort of sieve to make sure that the fat particles go throughout the milk. They don't separate.
Okay.
So that's a form of processing. Obviously, when you pasteurize milk, you raise the milk to a certain temperature, which kills off the bacteria, but it also kills off the good bacteria. So although milk is one ingredient, it is processed to some extent, unless you're buying raw milk.
I did a good stint on raw milk for a couple of years.
And how did you find it?
Great. I really liked it. I struggled with suppliers. It's just hard in terms of supply. It's so popular now that you just can't get hold of it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of not very good quality raw milk, in my experience, that comes through. And talking to a local farmer about it, he said it makes a real difference if you milk the cow once or twice a day. And if they're doing it twice a day, the quality just isn't the same.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't eat dairy now because I don't tolerate it. But I think one of the big arguments with big dairy is that the herds are routinely given prophylactic, so preventative antibiotics. The cows that we use, the black and white Friesians, are bred to have these huge amounts of milk, and they tend to get mastitis, so inflammation of the udders. So to prevent that, they give them prophylactic antibiotics, whether they need them or not. They're kept in big herds, so if infection occurs in one cow, the likelihood of the spread is really, really high. So again, when you're eating or consuming dairy, you are consuming antibiotics that the animal has been given. So that's an issue. That is definitely an issue. But also they are given doses of estrogen. So when the cow produces milk, they don't produce milk for us to drink, do they? Oh, I shouldn't hit my mic. They produce it for their baby, but the babies are taken away. So to ensure maximum production of milk, they increase that by injecting them with estrogen. So it's
a messy industry.
Yeah.
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 So I found a really good farm that, their cows, they weren't certified organic because they said just to get that certification would cost them $1,000 a year. But they only had 6 cows and they would milk them once a day, really well cared for. And I was buying milk from there and it was wonderful. It was so much better than the other raw milk I was buying online. But the demand, he had 2 that had birth calves and he was allowing them to feed them. So then he was down to 4 cows and he just had queues at the door for his milk and you just couldn't get it.
Well, I think this is what we need to focus on. I think if we all bought more sustainably, and got to know our farmers like because we all agree that animal husbandry should be upmost. We don't want to see animals suffering, but at the same time, cost is an issue, isn't it? And supply is an issue.
Yeah.
So I think there probably is enough to cover our need, but not our greed when it comes to foods, But I think that also leads into ultra processed foods, because if you look at, I don't know why I'm thinking of like Magnum ice cream. It could be any ice cream. There are other, but if you think of those sort of ultra processed lollies made with ice cream, well, they're going to be used, they're going to use the most cheapest
available milk.
and probably in huge herds to supply the need for those. Now, we don't need those particular treats. I mean, they are a treat, but it does feed into the ultra processed.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right, on the subject of milk, should we go to cereal?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Oh, gluten-free honey nut cornflakes.
Okay, so let's have a look at the ingredients on here. So, go-free honey nut flakes, gluten-free old-fashioned oats, chopped walnut. Oh no, this is how you make? No, that's not
No, that's
it.
something else.
That's something else.
Is it down the bottom here? Ingredients. There we go.
Oh, well, that looks pretty promising. Maize, grits, sugar is the second ingredient.
Oh, they're very sugary. Delicious.
So you're thinking that you're having a nice, healthy breakfast, but you're literally, let's have a look at the nutritional
Even Rice
information.
Krispies and regular cornflakes contain sugar. Did you know that?
Well, yeah.
Because we don't give our children sugar. We'll come on to that, I think, for various reasons, but also health reasons, not just because it's our preference. But to try and find sugar-free cereal is basically impossible.
But if you look at this, so when you're looking at the nutritional information, which is sort of this little box here, you always look per 100 grams. And you combine the carbohydrates and sugars in this product. There are 79 grams of carbohydrates, so 80% carbs per 100 grams. That is sugar. So then it says of which are sugar. That means added sugar, because obviously grains are mainly carbohydrates anyway. So you have got, let's say, 80 grams of sugar in 100 grams. That's astonishing.
And this whole packet weighs how much? 350 grams.
And so when you eat, so one serving size, if you look at the serving size,
which is always smaller than what you actually have.
Well, a serving size would be 1 ounce, which is 30 grams. But if you pour that into your bowl, you would feel
hard done by.
Yeah, you really would. So per serving, there still is 24 grams of carbs.
So probably in reality about 50 grams.
Yeah.
For your breakfast.
So the main ingredient is maize grits, then there's sugar, then peanuts, then more sugar because it's called oleofructose, which is a fruit sugar. Then there's honey, then salt, and then there is inverted sugar syrup and molasses. Basically, it's maize, corn, sugar, peanuts, sugar, honey, and more sugar. That's what we're going to do.
I want to look at the marketing on this box, actually, because on the side here, it says, our promise, 5 vitamins, no artificial colours or flavours, and gluten-free. So you might look at that and think,
healthy.
Actually, that's all right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say also includes a shit ton of sugar.
And I just noticed who it's made by. If you don't know about the wonderful things that this company did, have you heard about what they did in Africa with their milk?
No.
Oh my. Look it up.
Okay.
It's far too long for this, but let's just say they were promoting their baby formula to African mothers, giving them free samples of the milk until their natural milk dried up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they had to buy it. And, of course, they couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And the water is, it's really,
okay.
it's really not good. Not a good company.
Okay.
Not a good product.
All right. Next one, while we're on the theme of breakfast, a seeded bloomer.
Now, this one looks good. This looks good. Bread with honey-soaked seeds. Okay, not so good. So we've got, Rollo, go away.
It's not for you.
First ingredient is wheat flour, Then it's got
thank
calcium
you.
carbonate. Calcium carbonate is chalk. So they put that in to make the flour white, you know, to give it that sort of nice...
Even though it's brown bread.
Well, yeah. And you can't absorb that calcium. Like, that literally is chalk. It's not kind of bioavailable. So calcium carbonate. Then they've put niacin, which is a B vitamin, iron and thiamine. Then we have water. Mixed seeds, 12% brown linseed, millet, sunflower, golden linseed, poppy seed, pumpkin seed, yeast, rye flour, cut malted wheat and honey. Then it's got a little bit of rapeseed oil, wheat gluten, preservative, calcium. Oh, here's a word I can't pronounce. Calcium propionate, wheat bran, malted barley, flour treatment agent, ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C. So yeah, there's more than 5 ingredients there. I mean, I wouldn't say that's probably better than some white flour. I mean, you were telling me about flour when you lived in America.
The bread. Oh, like cake.
Yeah, because they put so much sugar in
corn syrup
in their bread
and everything.
I think they do that to increase the sort of sponginess of bread.
Oh, yeah, and the longevity of it. I remember, I think I told you, I had it in my fridge for months.
What, and it didn't...
It was totally fresh, yeah.
Didn't mould?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
I'm not going to throw this one over there.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad.
A lot of ingredients, though.
A lot of ingredients, but I think that's better. The flour treatment agent, they don't put what that is, so we don't know. We don't know what that is.
That's the thing, though. You think they have to list all the ingredients, but there are ingredients within the ingredients that aren't listed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll put that one back.
We'll put that one by. Yes.
I'll stick that down by my side for a minute. Okay. Oh, there's drool all in there now. All right. Let's try this one.
Okay. So this is Costa's Classic Hot Chocolate. Let's have a look. So the first ingredient in this is sugar. So that's not great. Then it's cocoa powder, 36%. Maltodextrin, which is basically another type of sugar. Thickener, which is, well, this one I really can't pronounce. I'll try. In brackets, sodium carboxymethyl cellulose. Anti-caking agents, which is silicon dioxide, salt and natural flavourings.
I think the dog's not that.
Yeah, and I don't think they have to legally say what the natural flavourings are. But again, the first ingredient being sugar isn't great. You can argue that actually cocoa does have some positives. Chocolate does have polyphenols. There are benefits with chocolate, but not if they're contained so much sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can buy raw cacao, which would be considered to be a superfood. Just don't add the sugar. I mean, raw cacao is so bitter that's why they add so much sugar. But again, so nutritional value per 100 grams, there's nearly 70 grams of carbohydrates, 50 grams of which is sugar, but carbohydrates and sugar are the same thing. They're metabolized in the body into sugar. So you really look at the carbohydrates as a whole, but I won't throw that one.
Mostly because it'll spill everywhere.
Well, yes, there is that.
All right, brace yourself for this one.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Oh my. What the hell is this?
This is a weight loss product, and it is a powdered juice.
Okay, so pineapple water flavour. I mean, I don't get the flavoured water thing. I have to say, like, I think because as a child I didn't have squash, and we didn't really have fizzy drinks. So I'm just, what is wrong with water?
Yeah, I'm with you.
What is wrong with water? Just drink water. But people say, oh, I don't like it.
I don't get that either. I've always loved water.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. I think, but that's probably a personal thing. So, ingredients: acid, malic acid, acidity regular, sodium citrate, calcium phosphate, flavouring, sweetener, sucralose, maltodextrin, colour, beta carotene. Can we imagine that's gone?
Let's talk about artificial sweeteners.
Yes. So sucralose. I think sucralose is the sweetener that is recommended by the American Diabetics Association as a calorie-free sweetener. But it turns out that it isn't calorie-free. I think it has marginally less calories than sugar.
I mean, is there such thing as calorie-free? Does that even exist? Is there anything that's calorie-free?
Oh. Well, a calorie is essentially an energy. It's a measurement of energy. Mm-hmm. So what a calorie is the measurement of how much of this product you would need to increase a gallon of water by 1 degree.
Oh.
So a calorie is an energy. So it's how much energy you get from something. But yeah, some things are calorie free. Like if you were to have like a herbal tea, there's probably no calories, no energy in there. But yeah, sweeteners, there are artificial sweeteners and natural sweeteners. The artificial sweeteners that would be considered the worst would be your aspartame type sweeteners. So the story of aspartame is that even the FDA, so that's the Food and Drug Administration in America, didn't allow that through 3 times, and they're renowned for letting products through.
It's in Coca-Cola, right? In Diet Coke?
It's in, I think it's in all fizzy drinks.
The thing that gets me, I'm slightly off topic, is that you look at a Diet Coke and you know the...
He hasn't got one in here.
No.
Oh, good. I was about to say.
Oh, I can't reach those now. Right, I need to find something else with it on. You know that the oh Christ, I can't find it now. You know the traffic light system? Here's one. So we have a traffic light system, right? And it tells you, you know, if it's green, it's safe to eat. If it's orange, then it's
moderation.
Okay. And if it's red, then it's like really high content of sugar, salt, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at a Diet Coke, it's all green. It makes it seem like it's a vegetable, like it's super good for you because it's all green. And on every weight loss plan that I've ever come across, you can have those for free. You can have it like sin-free. And
they're incredibly addictive.
Yeah.
I actually have a client at the moment who came to me for Diet Coke. It might be Pepsi. It's one of the two. Addiction, where she's drinking eight cans a day.
I used to know someone like that.
It's incredibly addictive. And aspartame, however you pronounce it, is a excitotoxin. So it excites the brain. And it is incredibly sweet. But because you're not actually getting any sugar, there's quite a number of studies that show that people that drink fizzy drinks, especially the diet fizzy drinks, end up putting on more weight. But the mad thing is, this just makes me laugh, is you'll see people in the supermarket with a trolley full of stuff that Luke has brought. And then they'll have like 2-litre bottles of Diet Coke. And I suppose in their head it makes them feel better.
More justified.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you go to McDonald's and you order a large meal and then get a Diet Coke with it. I've never understood it.
No, I suppose it's what we call cognitive dissonance, isn't it? It makes you feel somehow that you're doing better.
Is it a flavour thing, though? Do you think it's the flavour people prefer? They're not necessarily drinking it for the diet factor, but they prefer the flavour of the sweeteners. I mean, I don't understand that because I just think
funnily enough, the lady that I was talking about who drinks 8 cans of Pepsi or Coke a day, she said when she first started drinking it, she didn't like the flavour at all. She made herself because she felt that it was better for her than drinking the sugary alternative.
And that is what some of these weight loss plans will have you think. They have Diet Coke on there as the thing that you can have as much of as you want.
Just have water. It will hydrate you. It's much cheaper. And it will quench your thirst.
Interesting, isn't it? All right.
Very good marketing. Very good marketing.
All right. Children's multivitamins.
Okay. Orange flavour. So let's have a look.
It's a very long list of ingredients in that one.
Oh, yeah. So our ingredients. So the first one, oh, God. The first one is bulking agents, in bracket, glucose syrup, sugar, sucrose, so sugar and sugar. Then it's thickener, which is beef gelatin, flaxseed oil, sweetener, so another sweetener, in brackets sorbitol, ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, gelling agent, modified pea starch, acid, citric acid, malic acid, DL-alpha toco something. I actually can't pronounce anything else. Flavouring, glazing agents. So that's the thing that they put over the top of the actual chewy to make it look shiny. Sunflower oil, carnauba wax, acidity regulator, sodium citrate. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend that.
So we struggle to find multivitamins for our kids because they're all really sugar heavy. I picked that up thinking that was sugar-free. Obviously, I'm wrong. So that's really interesting. But then, of course, maybe I should ask you because this is what you do day to day.
Well, no, but it says that. It says it on there. It actually says that. It says 60 orange flavour multivitamins and omega-3 food supplement, soft gummy pastels with iodine, sugar and sweet. Oh, no, it says sugar and sweet.
Oh, it does. I missed that when I picked those up.
Yeah, so...
Funny.
I think, yeah, it's very good marketing, isn't it? And it's the colours that they've got on there. They've got a little orange with the smiley face, you know, and it says health matters. But essentially, you know, if children are getting a good varied diet, they shouldn't need a multivitamin. I think maybe something like a fish oil, because a lot of children don't want to eat fish, might be something. And fish oils contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are really important for brain development. But also fish oils are really high in vitamin D. I mean, when I was little, I got it on a spoon.
Yeah, I remember my nan having that.
Yeah.
Cod liver oil on a spoon.
Liver oil on a spoon. I mean, I think you'd get done for child abuse now if you gave your children that. It's awful, but...
So what's interesting with multivitamins is we stopped giving our eldest daughter multivitamins for a while, and we got really hounded by the health visitor about it. Well, why don't you give them to them? You need to give them to them. And because the nature of our children being adopted, we were also under the eye of social services, and we got a real hard time for stopping giving them.
Wow.
So we started again. But then you can see what we're giving them when you just read that.
Well, that is just insane. I don't know what to say about that. I'm really shocked.
I'm speechless.
I don't honestly know what to say.
Yeah. All right. So what else? I don't think there's anything that exciting left in here. There's one thing, which is a pack of sugar-free ginger oaties.
So they're called Zero. So you're thinking nothing but yummy.
No added sugar.
No added sugar. Zingy dark chocolate ginger oaties. So let's have it's a big list of ingredients. First ingredient, oat flakes, 26%, wheat flour, dark chocolate with sweetener, 18%, cocoa mass, sweetener, maltitol, cocoa butter, anhydrous milk fat, emulsifier, sunflower lecithin, sweetener, malitol, vegetable oil 13%, vegetable fibre, which is highly processed, ginger powder, raising agent, potassium hydrogen carbonate and ammonium hydrogen carbonate, flavour enhancer, potassium chloride, emulsifier, in brackets soya lecithin, salt, natural flavour, so highly processed.
Gone.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, we really struggle having sugar-free children.
Yeah.
Certainly at, you know, the school and, well, really any childcare environment, or even kids' birthday parties or restaurants or wherever, they can't get their head around the concept of sugar-free children. It just doesn't exist. We're the only people that we know that do that. Several reasons. One, my daughter has a rare medical condition which affects her bones. So, of course, sugar on the teeth is not good for her. She's very prone to abscesses and teething issues. And also she has ADHD. So then the sugar makes her bounce off the walls.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but then what do you do? Because children are so rewarded with sugar.
Yeah.
And we don't want her to miss out. So we use the sugar-free alternatives. I say in moderation, like they're not having this stuff daily, and they don't have juices and stuff. Maybe once a week they'll have a fruit shoot, but it's not a daily thing for us. But how do we not let them miss out, but also keep them sugar-free? Do you have any tips? What are we? Obviously, we're doing some things that aren't great for them. If you look at some of the products that I've bought, same for me, a gluten-free, using a gluten-free product. Also not the best.
It's really good marketing, isn't it? You know, and the money that these companies have, like if you think of those cereal cornflakes from Nestle, I mean, they've got a multi-billion, trillion probably business targeted to market to you. You know, to take the money out of you. So it's really difficult. And I think, especially with children, grandparents can be the world's worst, because they don't get it. When you say they're sugar-free, it'll be, oh, what one won't hurt, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's coming out. I think, honestly, it's coming out how detrimental sugar is to our health, but also how addictive it is.
That's another reason we don't want the kids to have the addictions that we have. Because we sit and binge eat sugar every night on the sofa.
I think, you know, it's incredibly common, and we laugh and we joke and say, oh, I'm a sugar addict. But it is true. There have been studies with looking in people's brains when they take illicit drugs such as cocaine or heroin and sugar. And sugar lights up exactly the same parts of the brain. Like it is without addictive, in some cases more addictive, because it's so readily available. You know, I mean, I'm a sugar addict, and I used to binge eat. This is why I don't eat it, because I would binge eat cakes, biscuits, and I would hide the wrappers in the bin and put stuff over it so no one could see. You know, total addiction behaviour.
I mean, there's people now getting diagnosed with binge eating disorders. I have a friend that has a similar behaviour that you've just described for yourself.
Yeah. And I think, well, you're not going to binge eat broccoli, are you? You know, that's not going to be a thing. You're not really going to binge eat salad. It's always going to be something ultra processed, highly sugar. And they are addictive. And the food manufacturers know this. They actually have what they call food architects, which they create the bliss point. So the bliss point is the perfect balance of sugar, fat, salt and crunch. And as humans, we cannot resist that balance between sugar and fat. If you think of ice cream, that would be the classic example. And it's about 50% sugar, 50% fat. We don't get satiated from it. If you think about when you go out, say if you go out for a Sunday dinner and you're stuffed, there's always room for pudding.
Yeah, there is.
There is always room for pudding, isn't there? And that's because we don't have that natural satiety for those types of food. Because in the wild, you don't have natural foods that contain 50% sugar, 50% fat. I mean, maybe nuts, but we all know how you can overeat nuts. But really, that's the only natural
salt on them normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult, and they're made to be ultra blissful. And then you've got all of the marketing as well, you know, the packaging, the placement in the supermarket, you know, encourage people to spend more. You know, when you think about the supermarket, when you arrive at the supermarket, you have all of the vegetables and fruits at the front. And that's because it looks really nice to have all that fresh fruit. But then really the rest of the supermarket is all ultra processed foods. And so they lure you into that, oh, I'm healthy, sort of healthy vegetable. And then you end up going down all of the aisles and it tends to be prime colours, shiny. If you think of fast food restaurants, you know, they all tend to be those bright colours like McDonald's, red, oranges. And that's because it attracts the mind. Like the marketing psychology is, I mean, they spend millions of pounds on this.
Those cereals, I haven't eaten cereal for years and years, right? I impulse purchased them because they were sitting shiny at the end of an aisle and I thought they looked nice.
There you go.
And I'm on like my 4th box now.
There you go. They know exactly what they're doing, and they were probably half price or buy one get one free to lure you in, to get you addicted.
They weren't, but they were on a promotional end, but for gluten-free products.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very clever. Very clever.
It is. All right. Wow. On that note, enjoy Kit Kat.
So look at you. No, don't. But yeah, just look at the ingredients. And if there's an ingredients list about this long with stuff that you can't pronounce, I think rule of thumb, don't eat it.
I think for me, it's about having an awareness, knowing that if I'm going to put it in my body, I need to know what I'm doing, what I'm eating, you know. And I think for a lot of things, everything in moderation. And we're not saying that you have to just quit it all today, but there might be a point in your life, like Wendy, where you said enough is enough, like I did with gluten. Enough is enough. But you know, be kind to yourself, but also just be conscious with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it up after many years battling. It wasn't an overnight thing for sure.
Yeah, it's hard because we're all kind of born and bred to be addicted to it.
Yeah, and I mean, we can maybe talk next time about the emotional crutch that food.
Oh, emotional eating,
which and also that leads into binge eating as well. You know, eating in secret, hiding the evidence. You know, that's all emotional.
Oh, tune in for more.
Yes.
All right, nice to see you all. Have a lovely afternoon, and just check your lunch boxes.
Bye.